Hi everybody, welcome to SimplyScuba. We are well in the way to the Christmas season, so if you're struggling to find a gift for the scuba diver in your life, or you're trying to come up with ideas to give your loved ones so that they can buy you these gifts, we've come up with a list of a few bits and bobs under £25 that I'd quite like to sort of receive under the Christmas tree, so let's dive straight in. So the first one is quite niche, so I thought I'd get it out of the way fairly early on. This is the XDeep slidable D-ring kit. So if the diver in your life is a more technical diver and they have their own harness, the kind of 2-inch straps, then it's quite handy to have sliding D-rings. A lot of standard D-rings are fixed, so when they're in position, boom. That's it, which is quite handy, but for a lot of divers, if they're diving side-mounted stay cylinders, it's quite nice to be able to move them on the go. And the XDeep ones, they're rigid when they have any weight attached to them, but you can slide them whilst you're in the water. So you can move that D-ring to a slightly more convenient place during the dive. So this is quite handy, but it's quite niche. So only if they dive with a 2-inch harness, basically. Less niche with this one, and this is the Slowtide Yukon beach blanket. So all scuba diving, well, most scuba diving tends to take place underwater, so we get wet. So of course we need a towel. This, it works perfectly as a towel. It's a little bit bigger, so you have plenty of space, but it also acts as a changing mat as well. So if you're getting changed into a wetsuit, you don't want the gravel and stuff getting inside of the wetsuit. That's just uncomfortable. So you can throw this down first, clean yourself off, get into your wetsuit or your dry suit, and then after the dive, you can dry yourself off with it. It's kind of that great all-rounder, very useful, and to have a dedicated towel specifically for your diving is quite nice. So you're not using the fancy towels that you should really be giving to the guests. Wetnotes are quite useful for divers, pretty much any divers. They're basically an underwater notebook that you can write down so that you can remember things, bring it down with you, or whilst you're on the dive, you can write messages to one another instead of trying to use complicated hand signals. And Wetnotes, they have plenty of pages, so they're going to last forever. They're really, really useful. The one that I've picked out is the DIR Zone one. Very simple, it comes in a nice Cordura sleeve and you can replace the pages. So yeah, it is very practical for any scuba diver really. The XDeep NX double ender is a really handy thing. It's kind of the place where most scuba divers won't treat themselves, but Christmas is all about treating your loved ones, so upgrading their double enders is going to be a really nice treat. So the NX, they've kind of tweaked it. Most double enders are pretty standard across most ranges, no matter who you buy it from, but the XDeep is substantially different, and they've looked at each part of the double ender and made it just that little bit better. So I would definitely like to see at least 1 or 2 of these under the Christmas tree this year. Even though we spend most of our time in and around the water, it is quite easy for scuba divers to get dehydrated. The air that we breathe is quite dry, so you do get dehydrated over long periods, and especially when you're in and around salt water, it's not very hydrating. So the Fourth Element Gulper, nice, decent water bottle that you can throw into your kit bag, and it's always there. Very tough and just a good water bottle basically. So yeah, a nice way to keep your loved one nice and hydrated during your dive. And finally, spools. For this one I picked the DIR Zone Spool. Spools are really useful. A lot of divers carry more than one. They come in different sizes, so different lengths of line, and it's just handy to have with you in the water and out of the water. I use my spools for all sorts of things around the house. So yeah, getting nice, cheap, inexpensive spools, you can never have too many. So hopefully that gave you a few ideas of something to buy the scuba diver in your life. We're quite tricky because you don't really want to go down like the masks or the fins routes because they're quite personal for scuba divers. As much as I would like to receive a nice shiny new mask, it's quite nice to be able to sort of pick out your own one. So if you're trying to go for a surprise, those sort of things that I've sort of spoken about are really quite generic, as it were. It should work for pretty much any scuba diver, cold water or warm water. But for more gift ideas, we have an entire gift idea department on our website, SimplyScuba.com. There's going to be links down in the description below, so you can go and you can filter it by price and all that kind of stuff, different departments, just to give you some ideas of things that you can buy. But what would you like to see underneath your Christmas tree this year? Let us know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.